Thank you so much for watching Riff TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview. Acey, first things first, my good friend Don Jameson says hello. So
yes, Don is the best.
Yeah, Don's great. I go way back with Don, but just a super good dude. I saw you talk to him recently.
Yeah. We were at the Rob Zombie show together.
That's right.
Yeah, and then I was on his show as well. So
yeah, so that was the night that Peter Criss came out, correct?
It was.
Yeah, I think I saw that on your Instagram. Was that the picture you took with Peter Criss? Was it that night?
Yeah, and it worked out perfectly because I have a coffee company called Cat Fight Coffee.
Right.
And I had a couple extra bags. I was like, the cat man's got to have some cat fight. Like, I love coffee. Awesome.
Yeah, John Five's a good friend of mine too, and I know that John is always excited when the Kiss guys show up.
Yes, he was over the moon.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I didn't get a chance to see Rob Zombie this year, but that's right in your wheelhouse, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that, so many things impressed me, but Rob's energy on stage, dude, like I don't know if he's been working out or what. I mean, he's always had a lot of energy, but now he is like, I don't know if he's doing like, Zumba classes or whatever the fuck they are. And can I curse?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
But his energy is just nonstop the whole show.
Yeah, no doubt. It's that vegan workout routine or whatever he does. But yeah, his shows are awesome. And of course, you and Piggy are good friends, right?
Yes, yeah. We toured together in a band called Amen.
Really? When was that?
That would have been 2004, I think.
Okay, that was a while ago too. Yeah.
Yeah, and we played, I think, St. Andrew's Hall with Brides of Destruction.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You're Detroit guy. So
yeah.
Yeah,
they just had to replace the floor in that place. I don't know if you heard about that. There was a rap band playing. The floor was actually buckling, so they had to close down for like 6 months.
Man, my friend Tony from a Detroit band called the Trash Brats. He worked there. Yeah. Awesome dude.
It's crazy. I've never met or talked to you, but there's all these intertwining connections that we seem to have here. But yeah, so it's really cool. But you got a lot of things happening, and of course, a lot of news has been made. So tell everybody what's going on in your world right now.
Okay, so 20 years ago, which feels really weird to say, but 20 years ago, I was in a band called the Muderdolls. It's our plaque right there.
Right.
And it was with Joey Jordison, Wednesday 13, Ben Graves, and Eric Griffin. And despite the odds, despite the fact that like our record company here in the States didn't really believe in us, the press didn't get us, there was a lot of things working against us. And despite that, the band became kind of I would say urban legend. But we were very popular overseas, but in the States, nobody really knew too much who we were, But it was the best time of my life. It really was absolutely easily. And we've lost Joey and we've lost Ben. And
before you go any further, why did this become the best part of your life? Was it just because you were, I don't know, did you just find a band that you really clicked with? You were touring the world, all that kind of stuff?
It was a combination of things. For me, I was in the band Dope before that. And Dope, it's a weird thing when you go from being in a local band to a band with a record deal. And at first you're on the tour bus, all the window dressings are there. And your record isn't performing like the record company wants it to. And it's a bit of a weird thing because you're like, but we're on a tour bus and we're on MTV. And they're like, yeah, but we spent $4 million on your ass,
Right.
So I had the experience of being in a band that had a big record deal, and we got dropped. And right at that time, I joined the Muderdolls. And musically, the Muderdolls was right up my alley. It was exactly and is exactly who I am. A little bit heavy metal, a little bit punk rock, lot of this, a lot of horror movie references.
Yeah.
So to be able to step into a situation where I'm playing with people that I liked, I already knew Wednesday, I already knew Joey, um, to step into another situation where we had a record deal and, the record company in the States was telling Joey, like, we want you to go back and do another Slipknot record. And they were going to give him this huge advance to stop the Murderdolls. And Joey said, oh, yeah? And he kept doing it. And that's something not a lot of people know, was that the amount of pressure he was under to go back and do another Slipknot record, because he was a primary writer for them, was immense. And while he loved Slipknot, he was like, listen, I want to do something else for a year. Let me just do something else for a year. And we were battling with a record company. We didn't have like a DJ in the band. We didn't have 7-string guitars. We weren't what was popular at the time. We didn't sound like Slipknot, which a lot of people hated at first. And despite all that, we stayed together and we kicked a lot of ass. We went on to be successful in Japan and Europe, the UK, Australia, So I guess what I'm trying to get at is I was in one band that was supposed to achieve that rock and roll dream, right?
Yeah.
And then I joined another band where everything's kind of stacked against us for us to not succeed. And we do it anyway. And it's all by being ourselves. So that's why it was the best time of my life.
So, I mean, everything's coming out right now. I guess Wednesday 13 is saying that, I don't even know what he's saying, to be quite honest with you, but I think the gist of it was that from your point of view, you tried to continue the legacy and nobody else was really doing it. That's kind of what I gathered in a layman's terms of what was happening. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And so what is like their holdup or their sticking point?
I don't know. And in a way, I'm not really even too interested in talking about it because, Wednesday has a new record coming out. It's going to be awesome. It's called Horror Fire. And, I think maybe he just either misunderstands how some things worked. I mean, he posted one thing and then I posted my thing and it it receded and then something else. And, I'm just in a position where it's like, if I reply to anything else, we're going to be spending all of our days talking about who's right and who's wrong. And the point of all this was to talk about, how awesome Wednesday is, how awesome Joey is, how awesome Ben is, Eric and myself, and the five of us together. It was an awesome band. And that's the point to it. And I'm going to kind of hold my course on that,
Yeah. No, I got you. No, that's cool. No, because I was reading that and I'm like, I kind of get where you're coming from. People were just kind of doing their own thing, and you wanted to celebrate the 20th anniversary.
Yeah,
that's what I gathered from it.
And one thing I did want to clear up, which is I'm not sure where this information came from, but there is a Joey Jordison Charitable Foundation where funds are going. I don't know where that came from, but this is something that has been in the works from his estate for a long time. And it's something that I'm so happy that I can contribute to. And so the Joey Jordison Charitable Foundation, it's Drill Drum Corps, the Christopher Reeve Foundation for transverse myelitis, and the Animal Rescue League.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of things happening there. Yeah,
yeah. So it's all things that are Joey, and that's where that money goes.
And what was your relationship with Joey when he passed away? Were you guys talking or no? Or
no, I hadn't talked to him in a while because you don't know that person's going to pass, right?
Right, obviously, yeah.
Yep. I spoke to him when he came through town with, I forget if it was Synazium or Vemic, one of his other bands, but he came through town and hit me up about coming down. At the time, I had a day job working in a studio, and the studio was booked. Shit, I would love to come down, but yeah.
Yeah. No, he was an awesome drummer, of course, as I don't have to tell you about that. So, I don't know. This might be a stupid question. Why only the 2 records from the Muderdolls? Just there was too much going on. You guys were splitting up or doing different things, or what?
Yeah. So originally the band was supposed to be a side project, and originally, when Joey called me up, he said, "Hey, we're going to do 2 weeks in the States, 2 weeks in Europe, and then 2 shows in Japan, and then it's done." And we did the 2 weeks in the States, and it was really rough. And then we went to Europe, and it was like oh my God, this is like the Beatles. Uh, and then we went to Japan, and it was like, oh my God, this is like Cheap Trick.
And
And
this is what year now? What year are you talking about?
oh, this would have been 2002.
Okay, so when the first record came out. Okay.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So the plan all along was to take a hiatus. That was always part of the plan, you know. Wednesday was putting out some awesome solo records. Eric was playing with Faster Pussycat and Pretty Boy Floyd. I was playing with Joan Jett. Ben was playing with Pretty Boy Floyd. So it takes time to get all the pieces back together, you know.
So with this 20th anniversary thing, tell everybody like what it all combines. What is everything that you have going on with this 20th anniversary of the first album?
Well, the first thing was Warner Brothers. I spoke to them about, are you guys going to do a re-release? Because we got the 20th anniversary of the record coming up. And that was one of those things where it was like there was no official capacity for the band, so nobody was thinking to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they said, no, not really. You know, it's, you know, Warner Brothers has what, I don't even know, Mariah Carey. Well, they don't have Mariah Carey, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
And so they said, well, if you'd like to put it out, we would love it if you did. Anytime we see bands put these out, it generates a lot of heat for anyone who has songs written on the record, because then the Spotify plays, even though they're playing the vinyl, everything that we do creates revenue for Wednesday and also for Joey when it comes to royalties. So also the record companies get a piece of that as well. You know what I mean? So basically they're like, hey, if you want to do the work, we'll be happy to take your money, Acey, you know? And I was like, well, let's remix the record. We came to find out that nobody could find the masters. No one could find the masters to this album from one of the most important guys in hard rock and heavy metal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I went through the process of contacting studios and talking to the head engineer and co-producer, Matt Sapanic. And he found some reels, then found some hard drives. And it's like, this is impossible to piece together right now, you know? So we did that, and then we went through, and I got the Photoshop files from the album, and there were all these photos that people haven't seen before. So to make a long story longer, you're getting remastered for vinyl. You're getting additional artwork that was originally supposed to be a part of it, but ended up, you know, kind of lost in the sauce. You get guitar picks. You get a video shout out. This is for the basic version. Dog tags for the first 250 people. And I feel like I'm forgetting some. Oh, you get a poster with it. And also it's a gatefold. So you have the gatefold poster, and then a poster also comes with it. So it's a lot.
That's 2 albums or the one?
Yeah, 2 vinyls.
Yeah, 2 vinyl. Yeah, I'm a big vinyl guy, as is Don Jameson, as we were just talking about. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this out in there. And of course, there's probably comes in different colors and stuff, right?
Yes, that's correct. It's 2 colors right now. You get it in red splatter with Coke bottle, or which we're calling red splatter. and then the other one is black marble, which we're calling Tombstone Black. And then Revolver Magazine is also putting out a clear red with black splatter as well.
What bands were you guys touring with back in the day to promote the debut record? Do you remember?
Yeah, the first tour we did was with Papa Roach. First tour we did was with, well, besides the headlining shows, but when the first bands we toured with Papa Roach, who were great. Even though it was a little bit like, because at that time they were a little rap rocky, you know what I mean?
Well, at the time in 2002, when you were just talking about this a few minutes ago, my thought immediately goes to the new metal, which was kind of like maybe at its peak or even coming down a little bit. So yeah, Papa Roach would fit right in.
Yeah, so we toured with Papa Roach, and then we toured with Iron Maiden. We toured with Jane's Addiction, Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, and that record came out on August 20th, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so it just passed the 20th anniversary. So yeah, that's pretty cool to look back on something like that. I know I've been in this business a long time, and you know, birthdays and anniversaries and stuff come up, and you start to think to yourself, whoa, 20 years went by in a flash, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And it's funny because, you know, you think about like, wow, 20 years, really? And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, but we could do something pretty cool for the 25th anniversary. You're like, oh, that's not that far away.
Yeah, that'll be here before you know it too. I was just thinking about that. The 25th anniversary could do something, but yeah, that's pretty sweet. So what do you have going on right now in your life?
Well, I got a coffee company called Cat Fight Coffee. I play with Till Lindemann from Ramstein. Are you going to go see Ramstein when they come through?
I don't know if they're coming here. Are they playing Chicago, right? Are they coming here in Detroit?
Uh, I don't know. I'd imagine they play. Was it not Nob Hill,
Yeah,
Pine
Pine Knob, yeah.
Pine Knob? Yeah,
Yeah, no, Pine Knob for sure not here this year, maybe next year. I don't know.
yeah.
I kind of look at my weeks 1 week ahead because I get too many things going on. And it's like, it's like looking at a tall staircase. I just concentrate on the first step.
Oh, totally. That's what I'm doing. I'm concentrating on the first step right now as well.
Yeah, there you go. And so you got your coffee company, which is so cool. And you're a coffee. Now, when did you become this coffee guy?
So I don't drink. I'm sober,
Right.
and so anybody who's I would be flabbergasted to find somebody who's sober who doesn't instantly turn to coffee.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. But even when I was a kid, I used to drink my grandpa's coffee, and interestingly, the way I really got into it was I was on tour with Joan Jett. I was playing with Joan, and we were playing a lot of BNC markets. And you get into these towns, and you're like, "There's nothing to do. Where do we go?"
Mm.
And I found that by looking for where the coffee shops were, not only did I find good coffee, which I was looking for, that's where the good record stores were. It's where the used instrument stores were. It's like where all the culture was. All the rock and roll stuff was there. So I started keeping a journal of all the shops, and then I started keeping a journal of all the coffees. And when the pandemic kicked off, it was like, well, I just lost all my work for the
Right.
year. Little did I know it was really going to be 3 years. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing we did. But a lot of guys in the business, Nita Strauss, she's got her side hustles. Blasco from Ozzy's band now, he's got his side hustles, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, it's going to be mine. So
Yeah. My friend David Ellison.
yeah, I was talking to Dave earlier, actually.
Yeah. Dave's the best. Yeah. Yeah, the coffee thing, I've never really got into coffee, but it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about that too. It's like a lot of my friends that have become sober, they try to do other things. Even Brad from Three Doors Down was telling me one time he would start drinking during the tour because he was bored, and you just kind of struck that with because it's like, what are you gonna do for the other 22 hours or something? So then he started going off and looking for different places while they were on tour.
Yeah, touring today is so drastically different than it was like back in the day.
Mm.
I forget Doc from Bad Wolves.
Yeah. Yep.
He was just sharing. There's like this shed that they were playing, this outdoor venue that has like mini golf putt putt courses set up for the
Mm.
bands, and like, yeah, now it's like somebody finally realized, like, look, this is boring, and everybody's gonna overdose on alcohol and drugs if we don't give them something to do.
What was your mechanism, your kickoff point where you said, well, I gotta stop this?
I was very lucky. My dad was an alcoholic, and he got sober. So I kind of had somebody in front of me that I saw get sober,
Yeah.
and all that. So I'm pretty lucky, man. I got sober at 27. Right at the age. Actually, I guess 28. I figured, well, I didn't join the 27 club.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Your,
so
your your dad led by example twice.
exactly.
Yeah. And so what? So are you coming up on 20 years?
24.
24 years. Wow. Yeah, well, congratulations on that. I know a lot of people fight that battle, especially guys in your position. That these bands, or these, I should say, the fans don't understand that while you're partying with someone in Detroit one night, you do it all over again the next night in Cleveland, while,
Exactly.
while they're curing their hangover or doing something else.
Exactly. And I guess one thing that maybe makes me a little bit unique is that, like, I don't regret my drinking days, and I also don't wish to relive them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nothing I love more than being around a bunch of band guys that are tearing shit up. I love it, man. And sometimes I light the fuse on the bomb, and then I just walk out of I just leave.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it,
Walk away.
yeah, I mean, it can still be a lot of fun to be around the party, you know. So it's not like a teetotaling type thing, you know.
Yeah. I know that you got the hearse and stuff. I have a funny hearse story. I worked in Buffalo when I first started in radio back in the early 1990s. I was on this heavy metal station, and our station vehicle was a 1967 hearse. And so I was just a poor dumb kid, and I never had any money to fix my own car, so I drive it around a lot. And one day I had to go pick up Don Dokken at the hotel and bring him to the radio station for an interview. And I picked him up in a hearse, and I'll never forget. He walked out and he stopped and he said, "I thought I'd only be in one of these things once in my life." So, but yeah, that hearse must get some looks when you're driving that around, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially I live in a Brazilian Portuguese neighborhood where everyone's Catholic.
Yeah.
So I get reactions like this. Sometimes people stop and cross themselves, you know.
Now, are we coming up to your favorite time of year?
Oh yeah.
So, what are you looking forward to seeing? I just saw when I took my friends to go see Top Gun. I'm trying to remember if I saw the Halloween thing, but anyway, I saw Jamie Lee Curtis talking about Halloween. Are you a big Halloween fan?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm really stoked for that.
Yeah. What else? What else did you like that growing up? I just saw on Netflix is they're dropping the original Freddy and I think Christine from their thing. Two classics right there.
Oh, you mean they're taking them off or they're
Yeah. They're taking them off and replacing them with some other stuff. But those are two of my favorites from when I was a kid.
Do you have Shudder?
I mean, I could watch them anytime I wanted to. I was just curious, like, are those like, is that in your wheelhouse right there? Those kind of movies?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And now, we're going through the American Horror Story series,
Mm,
you know, which is great.
yeah.
We were just up in Salem last weekend, and that's amazing. So yeah, anything Halloween, I'll sign on for.
I have to get up there. There's no question about it. I think I'm thinking this fall I'm gonna take that trek up the Northeast around the third week, fourth week of October.
Yeah, yeah. Do have you been to New Orleans?
I have not, but I've heard I do have friends that have been down there, and they say it's kind of creepy.
It's a similar vibe.
Yeah.
It's like a smaller, not so like it doesn't have a Bourbon Street, you know. So it's like a quieter sort of New Orleans vibe. I
So
love it.
if you could name your top like 3 or 5 horror movies that people must see, I mean, where do you put on that?
Oh boy. Uh, let's see. Hellraiser 2.
Mm.
Hellraiser 2 a lot. Um, Hellraiser 2, Them,
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that one.
The Thing,
Okay, yeah.
Suspiria,
Hmm.
and uh see, I gotta think of another one.
See, I was a big fan of Rob Zombie's first two movies. I thought those were really good.
Oh my God. That's always, I got really lucky because at my apartment in New York, um, whoever lived there before me must have been a movie reviewer, right? And so they didn't do a change of address. And so I would get all these DVDs
Hmm.
before they were even in the theaters. So I had House of a Thousand Corpses on DVD before it was even in the theater. And that was, to be honest with you, that was one of our ways to get people to the bus to party. It would be like, hey, you seen House of a Thousand Corpses yet? No, yeah, well, come on the bus and we'll watch it and party. You know.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, those movies were pretty good. I thought Lords of Salem was
Yeah.
less than desirable, but 31 I thought was okay. I'm a big zombie. I love how he incorporates the classic rock element with it, and it kind of like it's like the middle of nowhere America. I like
Yeah.
that.
Like that opening scene in which movie of his was it where they're driving across the desert?
Yeah, that was Devil's Rejects or House with a Thousand Corpses, one of them. Yeah,
I think it was Devil Rejects. It was the
yeah,
second movie. And they're listening to like the Eagles or
yeah.
something. Yeah, it's cool.
No, he's got a cool vibe about how he works his movies. So,
Sure.
but anyways, anything else we need to cover here with you? Anything you want to tell the fans? Anything that we missed?
No, man, I think we're good. You know, just we're gonna have more information about the Joey Jordison charitable organization very soon. Um, and you know, the estate has been working really hard to set that up, and I worked really hard to set the vinyl up, the vinyl re-release. follow the socials because I have tons of video footage that's never been seen of Joey and Ben. And Wednesday's got Horror Fire coming out, his awesome new record. And I guess that's about it, man.